Entrepreneurs, real estate investors, it's Cynthia Schmidt, Mrs. Landlady, author and teacher of the Collect Back Rent training course for landlords. I've collected over 300,000 in judgments, and I've had 5,000 landlords become Collect Back Rent members. But enough about me. I'm here for you today. 5 tips when serving your eviction notice, the quitter pay. This is when the tenant fails to pay the rent. The first thing we do is tip 1. At the lease signing, we're going to pull out the quitter pay and show the new tenant. This is a quitter pay notice. If you fail to pay the rent by a certain date, you will be served this notice. You have that many days after you get served to pay the rent. That's your option. If you don't pay the rent, I will have to proceed. I can't have you live in my home without paying the rent. Let's face it. Go to the Marriott Hotel tonight, live for nothing. It doesn't work. So that's tip 1. Tip 2. Make sure it's the right notice. I have talked to hundreds of landlords, and they are unaware that there's 3 types of eviction notices. The first one, the quitter pay, what we're talking about, that's when there's non-payment of rent. The second type is breaking of the lease. That means that the tenant is breaking rules and regulations that's set out in your lease. Third is when we want to end a month-to-month tenancy. Landlords have come up to me and go, I gave them a 30-day notice when they didn't pay the rent. I got into the courts, it got dismissed. The 30-day is to end it month to month. The quit or pay is the non-payment of rent. The judge will dismiss it. So know in each state there's 3 types of notices. That's tip 2. Tip 3. Make sure you go and have, after you fill out your quitter pay, have it notarized and of your signature and the date. Make a copy of that quitter pay, and that's what you'll give to the tenant. Now, when we get up to the courts with the judge, you want to make sure everything goes smooth. And if there's any doubt about the notices, he or she can dismiss it in a minute. So make sure you have it notarized of your signature and the date. The 4th tip is personal service. You have to serve the quitter pay to the tenant personally. You go ahead, I put it in an envelope. I knock on the door, I give the envelope to the tenant, I turn around, I don't say one word. The talking's over. It's in the notice. I get in the truck and I'm gone. So be discreet about serving your notices. Have it in an envelope. It's a business. Treat it like a business. And the 5th tip, big one. If they fail to get a hold of you during the time set out in the quitter pay, don't call them. Don't communicate. Right away, you're playing their game. That means they know that they owe it. And if they don't get a hold of you, it's a red flag. Go straight down to the courthouse and file an eviction. Because the farther they get behind, the more you're going to be in a rock and a hard place, and so are they. So, here's the 5 tips for serving the quitter pay eviction notice. Show them at lease signing. Make sure it's the right kind of notice you're serving. Notarize of your signature and date. Personal service in an envelope. And if they don't get a hold of you, go straight down to the courthouse. No goofing. Go straight down there. So, subscribe to my channel. I'm giving out tips all the time. I'll be talking about breaking of the lease, small claims, eviction, collecting on judgments, buying judgments, lots of fun. So, Thank you for jumping aboard.